Hey everybody, Brian and Tina here with Jones and To Go. We have a bittersweet day ahead of us today because we have to leave our park here in Largo, Florida.
Yeah, winter's over already. It's time to go home, but fortunately we're not actually going to leave Florida today. We have 2 more nights. We finally, after trying for a couple of years, were able to book a couple of nights at Fort DeSoto. We've been over there a couple of times to go to the beach, and in fact last year we did a video of the park. So this year we're going to just focus on showing you guys the campground and giving you just a little more details of the campground.
It's a beautiful place to visit, and we are so excited to be able to stay there.
Yeah, and we got kind of a little bit of a dilemma. We have to be out of this park here in Largo, Florida at a certain time in the morning, but we can't check in over there until like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But stick around, we're going to show you how we're going to make the best of that lag in time there and have some fun in between. So I'm going to roll the intro and get hooked up and ready to go, and I think I'm going to use the original intro that we've started the channel with because,
well, we've had some people on Instagram comment that they really liked our original intro, and I think it's our dog who grabs their attention. So
yeah, he definitely grabs people's attention. He gets the most views on Instagram too for some reason. Guess we're gonna have to incorporate Toby into a little more of our videos. So we're gonna go ahead and roll the intro, get hooked up, and we'll see you guys over at Fort DeSoto Park in St. Petersburg. So here we made it over here.
That was a short, quick little trip.
Yeah, it's Sunday, and we left our park over there in Largo at 8:30 this morning. And we kind of did this intentionally because here's the cool part about coming to Fort DeSoto. So you've got this beautiful beach. This park is huge. And even though check-in time isn't until 1 o'clock in the afternoon, they'll let you come through the gate. You just give them your site number, and they'll let you come right on through. And park here in the parking lot and go to the beach.
There's like tons of parking, so
yeah, there's never a problem with parking here at Fort DeSoto, at least with our experience. So the cool thing is they don't want you to check in until 1 o'clock, but it's not a big deal because you come to the beach, spend the day.
For a bike ride. We're gonna go for a bike ride.
Yeah, and there's some kind of a marathon going on here today, so we're gonna ride around and see what's going on.
Yeah.
And then 1 o'clock gets here, who knows, if the sun comes out a little bit and it gets a little warmer. It's supposed to get in the mid to high 80s today, so we may spend some time at the beach. But in the meantime, we'll check back with you guys in just a little bit when it's time to check in. And like I said, I'm going to get the camera up on the top of the fifth wheel because a lot of you guys like to see that bird's eye view of checking into a campground, and we're going to try to focus again on the campground with this video. So
well, I think it's pretty cool because this is a tight campground, and so people will get an actual idea of what it's like to drive a big rig in there.
Yeah, well, we rode our bikes up to the campground, or back down to the campground, or over to the campground, whatever direction we're going in, just to see if the site was available. Whoever was on it this morning has left already, and they already have it tagged for us. So as we came through the gate to come back in the park, the lady told us there'll be a red tag on there to put that in our car so we can go back and forth in and out of the park.
Because there's a $5 entry fee into the park.
Yeah, if you're just coming for the day, yeah. But when you're camping, you get entry every day into the park back here where the beach is. So those tags were already hanging on our pole. By the time we got back to our bikes and we're heading over there, it's almost 1 o'clock. So it'll be 1 o'clock when we get back to the campground. And cameras are rolling on the top, so hopefully that'll give you guys a good bird's eye view of the park.
Looks like they trimmed a lot of trees this year, so we ought to be good there for height.
Yeah, the street going in, it looks like they trimmed some stuff back, so I think overhead clearance, we're going to be in good shape. I'm going to leave the cameras up there anyway, just so you can see coming through the park. So we'll be in the park in just a minute and have a look at that.
Every time you're away, I long for you so much I can find my way. We got everything here, at least to stay alive. And the time that we share makes it all worthwhile. Got this place on our own. Do you feel that we got something strong? And I saw you walking the line, and the truth may...
So as we pull, we're gonna go right past registration because the email that we got, almost ripped there. The email that we got with our confirmation tells us just to go right to our site because they were still doing the non-face-to-face registration. So if that's changed, well, then I guess it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission, is how the saying goes. So, but our name and everything's on the pole back there. So all right, we're gonna pull in here. So just we'll watch the top camera and see how this looks. We are 53 feet overall with the truck and the fifth wheel, so that'll give you some kind of reference. And again, the fifth wheel is like 13.4, 13.5, something like that. I always use 13.6 just to be safe, but you can see, hopefully the camera's still rolling up there. They've got it pretty clear, so I think overhead stuff wise in this section, just about everybody should be just fine.
There's some pretty big rigs in here, so.
Yeah, I've seen some 40-some foot toy haulers in here, so if they can do it, I can do it.
Right. It's your mad driving skill?
Yeah, I don't know about mad driving skills, but I think I can get it backed in. There are a few sites, and when we take a walk around, we'll try to reference the site numbers. There are a couple of sites in here that there's no way a rig this tall is going through there, just because there's some trees overhanging in the site itself. And we'll try to find those and just kind of give you guys some reference. So if you do want to come here and manage to score a reservation, it is hard to get in here. For non-residents, you can book out to 6 months. And
7.
No, that's resident.
Oh, non-residents.
Florida residents
right.
get a little bit of a bonus for being residents. They can book out 7 months in advance, where non-residents can only book out 6. And I guess that's fair. I mean, the people who live here get bombarded with snowbirds all the time. They ought to be able to enjoy their own resources. So, yeah. I mean, if it was that way in Ohio and we couldn't get into our own parks because of non-residents, we'd probably be upset too. So it is a little dusty back here, so at some point I'm probably gonna have to get this rig washed in our journey. So
it's all good.
It's not bad so far, as you guys can see with the overhead. It's plenty wide enough to get this dually and this rig through. You can see that Solitude right there. Looks like it's about a 40-footer. He's in there just fine.
I love how they have separation of trees between each site.
Yeah, this reminds me a little bit of like Elm Creek in Ohio, where all the sites are kind of secluded from each other. Obviously a different kind of tree here. But
right.
All right, we are coming up on our site. We are on site 220. These are still pull-throughs here.
Yeah, I think it's up here ways yet.
The nice thing is we'll get some footage as we walk around. Some of these sites to our right, if you guys can see them, I don't know how wide angle the lens is picking up on top of the rig. Some of these sites to our right are right on the water, so that's kind of cool. So if you've got a... Is that it? No. Kayak. If you're coming with a kayak or something like that, you can launch it right from your campsite. Okay, here we are, site 220. This should be easy enough to back into. I'll have Tina give a little pan of that with her camera. I'm gonna pull it.
We got time on our side. We're in a state of hope. I need you on my fire.
Okay, now that we're all set up, actually spent the night, we'll give you guys a look at our site here, which is site number 220, and you'll be able to see that, you know, we have a 35-foot fifth wheel with the truck, overall, we're like 53 feet. We have more than enough room on this site. It was a little tight backing it in here, just because the street out there is a little narrow, but if you kind of hug the left side of the street, I had just enough room to get it in here. But, you know, some people have better skills than I do. Maybe it'd be easier for you. But we'll take a look around this site, show you what it looks like. They have ample electric hookups, 30 and 50 amp hookups, and the water is right here on the site. As we walk around the site, it's not pea gravel that we're walking on, actually. It's crushed shells. So
Florida uses crushed shells a lot for their landscaping.
Yeah, they do.
In case people didn't know that.
Yeah. So if you have tender feet, make sure you have appropriate footwear. But other than that, I think that, you know, this is more rustic camping than the typical RV parks that we stay in for extended stays down here in Florida. And for me, it's a nice change because I like this kind of camping. So, you know, we'll kind of give you guys pros and cons of this park as we go through and give you a tour. But one thing that I think about when I hear the words pros and cons is what might be a pro for me might be a con for somebody else. So,
oh, absolutely. Everyone has their own opinion of what they like and don't like.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I point out something that I like, it might be a con for you. But overall, so far, this is a really nice park, and I think we're going to be back. But so let's give you a quick look at this site. The folks across the way are actually getting ready to pull out. So when they pull out, we'll give you a look at that site because that one's actually on the water. And
you can launch kayaks right from the back of your site on some of these water sites. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're definitely bringing kayaks next year, our kayaks. Yeah. I'm going to figure out a way to get them down here for sure. And right next door to us, actually, you can't see it because of all these trees. And that's another pro, in my opinion, is all these sites are pretty much secluded from your neighbors. So if you're the kind of camper that likes privacy, this is definitely a nice park for you. The bathrooms are right next door, and when we finish this lot tour, we'll go next door and show you guys those. There's also a washer and a dryer over there, so that's kind of cool. So I'm gonna turn the camera around and we'll give you a look at site 220. Okay, right from the street. Yep, you see. Where's your bathing suit? So you can see, we're, like I said, we're pretty long overall, but we have plenty of room, and you'll see when we get to the back of the site, there's even room back there. You can position your rigs however you want. This is just the way we put ours in here because we're only here for a couple of days. So you've got water hookup in this particular site is mostly towards the front, but we had plenty of room even though we were towards the back of the site with a 25-foot water hose. And give you a quick look at their power. You have 50 and 30 amp hookups as well as 120 if you want to hook up like, you know, patio lights or something like that. Are some trees there. We had plenty of room, and you can see in the back of this site it gets wide, so you have plenty of room for all your chairs and tables or whatever you're going to set up. The sites do come with a picnic table, and that's a longer picnic table than we've ever had at a campsite, and it also comes with a charcoal grill. Now, the way we positioned our rig today, we can't really get our awnings out, but I don't feel like we need them. We're only here for 2 nights, and it's shady back here, so. Okay, that's a look at Site 220. And the folks, like I said, across the street are pulling out, so we'll walk across the street and give you a look at one of those sites that's on the water. Okay, our neighbors have just pulled out, so it'll give us an opportunity to give you a good look at. Here is site number 219, so in case anybody's actually writing site numbers down. And this one goes right out to the water, and you can see out there, somebody's got their kayaks out there. The tide's a little low right now, but...
yeah, low tide is at like
20
after 10 or so in the morning
today.
And it's around 10 a.m., so it's pretty close to low tide.
And you can see on this pole they left their pass. When you guys check in, you'll have this is a pass that gets you in the gate to get back to the beach and stuff every day, so you don't have to pay the $5 fee each time. So here's a quick look at one that's right on the water, and these are really nice sites, especially if you're bringing kayaks. You can launch your kayaks, fish, do whatever you want right from your campsite,
or just sit out in your chair and soak up the sun.
Enjoy the water and privacy. All right, let's go take a look at some of the restrooms here. We're going to make sure nobody's in there before we take any cameras. I always get a little creeped out by doing that, but And when we don't go inside, then people will leave us comments that they wish we would have showed them the inside. So we're going to try to do that. I think they're cleaning right now, so nobody should be in there. Okay, this is one of the restrooms, shower houses scattered out throughout the park. Tina's checking to see if anybody's in there right now. You can see there's a washer and dryer, and I believe it's $1.75 for each. So in our case, you know, we have a washer and dryer in our rig, but we're not on a sewer site, so I think Tina might use the washer and then just use the dryer in the rig. But it looks like they're cleaning these right now, so maybe they'll let us get in and just give you a look. Okay, the cleaning crew is actually cleaning, and she said this is a good time to go in and show you guys because nobody's in here, so it's nothing creepy bringing the camera in. This is the what's the men's or the women's? So you can see they have showers with little changing areas and showers, multiple sinks, and they keep them pretty clean. This is a county park, not a state park. I'll open that door. So obviously this is the women's because there's no urinals. So the men's looks pretty much the same. Obviously just with some urinals. So that's a quick look at their changing rooms and shower houses. Looks like they keep up on them and keep them clean, so you could use these with confidence. Each one of the sections, there's 3 sections in this campground, and we'll make it around to show you. There's what I'm calling this section that we're in, a general section, and you can see you can get just about any size rig in here. And then they have another section that's basically for tents. And like pop-up campers, the really small stuff. And then there's another, I guess what I would call a general section that is for pets. And we'll give you guys a look at that. We just talked to one of the camp hosts that let us go in and film the inside of the shower house and the bathroom for you guys. They clean them every day. And they'll be closed for about an hour while that's going on. So somewhere in the course of the day when they're cleaning, these will be inaccessible for an hour, which I guess is just fine because you want a clean restroom. So we'll make our way around the park. We'll go up and show you guys the camp store. And oh, there's one thing I do want to clarify, that we gave you a little bit of misinformation at the very beginning of this video when I said you can book out to 6 months and Florida residents can book out to 7 months. That's not entirely true. Pinellas County residents can book out to 7 months. If you're from another county in Florida, you only get the 6 months as well. So it's only Pinellas County residents.
And a lot of people are right on there, right at midnight, clicking that checkout on the website to book their site.
Yeah, we got to talk to another camper here, and they're from Pinellas County, and we were talking to them about how the fact that we must have just gotten lucky and somebody canceled, and I caught it just at the right time to get in here because I had been trying.
Yeah, watch
way
that.
prior.
Watch for cancellations all the time.
All the time.
They pop up.
Yeah, same way as we do in Ohio. We're always looking for cancellations. But what the lady said was, even though they're from Pinellas County, she's on there at midnight, and then she'll go on midnight the next night for the second night and the third night, and so on and so forth. So if you can't, if you don't think that you're going to get a whole week, you might want to try that little game of getting up at midnight and getting on there. So it's a very popular park. I can see why.
I can see why.
So,
yeah, so much to do here.
There is. So we'll take a look at some other sections, show you the store and what they offer here. One other nice thing about this versus some of the RV parks here in Florida is you can have a campfire here. It just has to be contained, and we'll show you. They have some containers that you rent for $5, and then you can buy the firewood here. But if you have your own fire ring, they said you can bring that as well. It just has to be contained in a ring. You can't just stack a little fire.
So they rent the rings for $5 and sell the wood. If you really want to have a campfire, it's possible.
Right, it's just a galvanized tub, but either way, you're going to get a campfire and roast some marshmallows. So, all right, let's go take a look at a couple of the other sections. We'll show you the store, and we're just going to try to keep this video kind of short.
Every time you're away, I long for you so much I can find my way. We got everything here, at least to stay alive, and the time that we share makes it all worthwhile. Got this place on our own. Do you feel that we got something strong? And I saw you walking the line, and the truth may come as a surprise that with you I feel alive. You'll be the last one I think about. We got time on our side. We're in a state of hope. I need you on my fire. I want you.
So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. You have 3 sections here. You have a pet section, small section for tents and pop-ups, and then what I just referred to as a general section. But the pet section is every bit as nice, and the sites are as roomy as the section that we're in with our big 35-foot fifth wheel.
I saw some big motorhomes.
Yeah, there were some good-sized motorhomes and a couple of good-sized fifth wheels in here as well. And I don't know if you guys caught it when I went by. There was somebody in an Airstream that even cocked their unit on an angle to give themselves even more privacy. So, but the way these sites are set up with all the vegetation in between the sites, there's plenty of privacy if that's what you appreciate in a campground. I don't know. What are some pros and cons in your mind of this park? I think,
Well, if you're one who likes to eat out a lot, you have a little bit of a drive. What, 10-15 minutes depending on traffic?
yeah, if you're into that touristy areas where all the shops and the restaurants and all the hustle and the bustle of the busy beaches are, this is probably going to be a con for you. For me, it's kind of a pro because we spend 3 months in one of those areas in our permanent spot, and this has been kind of refreshing to come down here for a couple of days. It'd be close to probably, I don't even want to say one of our favorite beaches. Fort DeSoto Beach is my favorite beach in this area. So it's actually back in, what's it called?
Terra Verde?
Terra Verde is the closest town. There's a gas station and a couple little restaurants a couple miles up the road from here. But so if you want to get away from all of that, this is a perfect place to be. So great sites. The only con I would say is if you're looking for a full hookup site, you're not going to find that here. We're only here for a couple of nights, and we can usually go 3 nights with the capacity in our rig and have showers and everything just fine. But there's nice clean shower houses here. That's a pro for a park like this. Plenty of fishing. You can see as we're going around, there's water everywhere.
Just plenty of outdoor activities to get yourself involved in.
Right.
There, I mean, kayaking, fishing, the beach, finding shells, sand dollars. Lots of sand dollars on the beach here.
Yeah, this is the only beach that we've been to that I've ever found a sand dollar intact. So
Windsurfing is really huge.
yeah, even if you don't windsurf, but if you enjoy watching it, at the end of the park, the east end of the park, we usually see, and we'll try to throw some, we have some little clips from our phones. We'll try to throw that in there and show you. So there's not a lot of negative things about this park that come to my mind. Like I say, what would be a positive for somebody might be a negative for somebody else. But for me, this is going to be an annual thing for us. If I can get us in here, one of us can watch the site and get in. So you go online to book it. We drove right in because our email said go directly to your site. I believe that's ended now. I did walk up and tell the guy, hey, just in case you want to know, we're here. It was not a problem, but he did tell us they're back to
pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID stuff where you go in and check in and things like that. Like I said, when you get here, your post, your electric post, will have a park pass, I guess is what they call it.
Yeah.
So you can get in and out of the gate going back to the park where the beach is every day without having to pay a $5 fee. Once you're registered in the campground, there's no more of those fees. So we'll leave a link down below for the Pinellas County Parks and Recreation where you can go and make reservations. One thing that I did notice, and I'll point out to you guys real quick, is if you're doing that from your mobile phone, you need to go, there's a link on there somewhere you click to go into desktop mode for that to work properly. So just keep that in mind. But other than that, good luck getting the site. If you want to get here, just get on there and check it every day, especially if you're date specific, or try to mark your calendar, put an alarm in your phone or whatever for that 6-month mark. And then if you want multiple days, you may have to play that little game that the locals told us about. You may have to book each night separate.
I think that's what we're going to try.
Well, we're going to try it because I think we might try to spend our first week in Florida next year here and kind of get our Fort DeSoto beach fix in for the winter. So guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys when we start the second leg of our trip. And we're going to head up to Alabama and show you where we're staying there. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
See ya.